Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Bros. This is your favorite sexy Mexi, and we're gonna call him the Remy King of Kings.
Yes, yes.
And we're back here, we're letting you know some of our favorite movies we've seen lately. We're gonna let you in on some movies you probably haven't seen and you should, and even let you know some movies that we watched that may have been all that much, so you can skip through them. Yeah, we just want to share with you our viewpoints and inspire you to continue to watch films. With that being said, we'll get started on our first one.
It's the Movie Bros Show with your hosts, Remy Keene and Josh.
On
Sure.
Hulu, they're showing Stephen King's Storm of the Century. Do you remember that one?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh, it's a great one. You'll have to watch that. Um, it's kind of like a small island in Maine or Rhode Island, like most of his stories happen, and then this storm rolls in and just a weird supernatural type of event happens. So you got to watch it. Um, it's just cool, and even the ending's cool. The whole time you're kind of guessing stuff, and kind of trying to figure things out. Yeah, just another great movie.
I'll have to check that out. I love Stephen King. I love many of his movies that I've seen. Um, Rose Red. If you ever saw that one was dope. Um, I'm pretty sure it was like a made-for-TV movie too. And then Dreamcatcher is at the one of the top of my list movies, one of my favorites ever.
Okay, so I want to plug this movie. It was a Stephen King movie back in the 90s, 92 actually. It's called Sleepwalkers.
Sleepwalkers.
And it's you got to remember this is the 90s and it's cheesy and it's big hair but this movie was actually really pretty cool for the 90s. I love the characters in it. It was a weird Stephen King movie. I mean, it was a book first and kind of made to the movie. Didn't get do very well in the box office, but let me tell you, man, it's if you're a Stephen King fan, you got to go back to some of his older work, and this is one of the first movies that I remember watching as a Stephen King fan. Um, it's a weird one, so just hang on. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
I remember I got into like his newer stuff, which eventually made me watch some of his older stuff. But like Dreamcatcher was my first one that I was like, man, I love the way this guy tells a story. And then I watched The Stand and
yeah,
Rose Red,
yeah.
and I'm like, these movies are cool. And then I've heard of movies like Salem's Lot, never seen it. I've heard of movies like not The Outsiders, but the uh, I don't remember what it's called now. But basically they're like a magical. They like find magic out in the. Uh, I don't remember what it's called. Let me look. But yeah, I'll give anything a chance that I can. I just wish there were more like readily available. Um,
Gosh, I remember Firestarter with
oh yeah,
the
the old
first
one,
Firestarter, yeah, with 1984. Wow, takes me back.
Maximum
Drew,
Overdrive.
yeah, Drew Barrymore, yeah, Maximum Overdrive. Telling you, man, it's he's had quite a lot of movies
Man, I didn't even
and
realize he
remakes.
helped write Shawshank.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was his doing, man. I'm telling you.
That's fantastic.
Again, another phenomenal writer, man. You just have to kind of sit back and let the story tell itself. But yeah, Silver Bullet, Maximum Overdrive. He wrote Stand By Me. J- um, Um, what's his name? Gosh, some of these actors are so like the best actors in the world. Give me a second here. Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman. There
Yeah.
was
Stand by Me. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. There's one more. Connolly, I can't remember his name. Jerry O'Connell, right? Kiefer
Oh yeah.
Sutherland. Just wonderful actors in that. Um, that's actually a great movie. If you haven't never just seen it, it's worth a
Which
watch, man.
which
Stand by
one?
Me. Stand by Me.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Of course. Of course.
yeah. That's a classic, man. You can't. You have to watch that. I mean, um, Pet
Did you,
Cemetery. I love Tales from the Dark Side. I love Misery. Lawnmower Man. Do you remember that? That was kind of the
yeah.
first time I saw the tech,
Yeah.
like somebody go into the electronics of something, right?
I, I finally recently watched uh The Shining, and I had never seen it before.
Yeah,
And it was phenomenal, you know. Um and just the fact that, they teamed up. Stanley Kubrick directed that, right? And Stephen King wrote it. So like you would get the I don't know, just the feel of a Kubrick movie with um the creepiness
yeah,
and like
yeah.
mystery of a Stephen King novel. And
Did you
it's like,
see? Did you see The Shining? It's kind of a new story told on The Shining,
yeah, Doctor
called
Sleep.
Doctor Sleep. Yeah,
I saw it.
yeah. That was
I
pretty.
actually wanted to watch it so bad, like whenever it came out, but I was like, I haven't seen The Shining, so I might not understand it. So I was like, I wanted to watch The Shining first and then Doctor Sleep, and I finally did that, and I was like, yeah, it was worth it. I love like they tried to make it like the the shiners are these type of people, and
Yeah,
they want
yeah,
to absorb them and stuff, which makes sense. It's like, why else would you trap this little boy in the hotel?
yeah. I'm telling you, great movies. Um,
And then Carrie, he wrote he wrote Carrie, The Dead Zone. Did you
yes.
ever watch that TV show?
Oh yeah, I love The
uh,
Dead Zone, man.
like I watched the movie and everything, but I feel like the TV show really like did a good job of
Yeah, it came
telling
out
that
on
story.
USA Network, I think,
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on, right?
I was
Yeah,
watching it when it was brand new.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great movies. I love The Secret Window. Came out in 2004.
Oh yeah, that's so
Johnny
good.
Depp, man, that was a really good one. I Just the insanity part of it, and one that I really liked that I didn't really think I would like, or one very Stephen Kingish in my terms, was Gerald's Game.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, it was good.
it
I
was
I
really good.
I didn't expect
Um,
it to be as good as it was, and then the dude that comes in and licks her, man,
yeah,
and I was
and
like, oh, she's hallucinating, and that's weird. That's
right,
bad.
Carla Gugino, man,
Oh
she did
yeah,
phenomenal
yeah,
in
she's
that
great.
movie.
Something I've never seen that I would like to is Children of the Corn. I've never watched
Oh my gosh, man!
any
I
of
tell you,
those. Yeah.
it's freaky. I mean, and I tend to stay away from like making kid murderers and stuff like that. But that one's such a classic, man. It's
Yeah.
just you gotta watch it. Oh, um,
One of the stars of those came and like spoke as like a motivational speaker in my high school when I was a kid, and I was like,
really,
that made me want to watch them, and I still never have. uh,
yeah, it was kind of a low budget horror movie.
yeah.
Um, but and to me, it was kind of the first time you saw like a cult like um I've never really seen too many movies on like, these kids were a cult and they were sacrificing to the god and all that kind of thing. So
Yeah, like Lord of the Flies, like actual kids doing crazy stuff just because they're set free and not given any rules. And
Yeah, yeah.
Um, The Mist is another really good Stephen King, um, as well as the Green Mile.
The Green. Oh yeah, for sure, man. Another surprise. You're like,
Yeah,
really? You wrote that?
you're right, right. I'm like that's not. And then this one I have to mention because it was my first date movie, 1408. I've mentioned it before on
Yes.
the podcast, but 1408 with uh, oh, what's his name? Goodness.
Oh, John Cusack.
Yeah, John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson are
There
in
you
it,
go.
and yeah, it's a short story. And then, funny enough, you know how I just mentioned Mr. Harrigan's phone? He wrote that.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, he wrote it.
Yeah. I was trying to remember in the tall grass. I think that's the
Oh, it's so good. Oh my god,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a
it
really good one too.
it floored me. I was like, "Oh man, this is just." I'm like, Ashley, you have to watch this with me, just because, like, sometimes like she doesn't want to watch stuff like that with me, but I'm like, this doesn't go like too far or anything, but it's just so crazy the whole time, and it's like she likes Patrick Wilson a lot, and he's in that. He's the well, I think the dad that gets lost in the tall grass, but so good, such a good one.
Okay, so
Like,
I'm gonna show you something that you probably have never seen. So Stephen King wrote Tales from the Dark Side, and he actually is in one of his tales, and it's about a let me find it for sure, but it's about a guy that finds a meteorite, and he's this kind of like hillbilly hillbred.
mm,
Uh, so hold on, and you know, not to give it away, but um, you know, it's really the underneath. It's a real complicated story, but it's such a short story. But it's cool because it's Stephen King and he's acting in his own short story. So I'll find that for you here in just a second. Yeah, so it's called Broken Meteor. Oh, it's a Creep Show, 1982,
Creepshow, yeah,
called Broken Meteor. Um, and it was really cool, man. It kind of talks to me. There was a real when you watch it, and you know that writers are very deep with what they're saying. They're trying to tell you something,
yeah,
even though they're not saying what they're trying to tell you.
right,
And this movie was about temptation. This movie was about like doing things you don't want to do, even though you do them, and then you do them, and it makes it worse. But then you can't stop that kind of
yeah,
thing. But it was set in a horror story, and it was comedic, and the ending, and I mean, the whole thing is just gruesome.
yeah.
Never seen anything like it. Stuck with me all my life. Can you imagine this coming out in like 19, you know, what did I say, 1982, and here I am, you know, 42 years old, you know, and 20 or 40 years later, and it still strikes me. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
you definitely have to watch this one. It's pretty neat.
Another one by Stephen King that we should that I should mention is The Outsider. Um, it is a TV series,
Yeah, I saw that
uh,
one just recently.
HBO, and
Yeah.
such a such a good show. Like, I highly suggest it. I won't ruin it, but man, like, not at all what I expected. Like, Stephen King just surprises you every time, man. And like, how cool is this? Like, just adventure you go on, like it, and it's so well acted to the main detective guy that you follow. He's just like so into it, and I don't know, like you just feel like so like deeply invested into some of these characters. And Ben Mendelsohn is the guy's name that acts in it, and I'm like, man, you just did a phenomenal job playing that role. uh, and it's one I would highly suggest for people to watch. of Stephen King's because it's just top of the list. Top of the list for sure.
Yeah. Another movie I watched on HBO that came out recently was called The Barbarian or Barbarian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a weird. It was kind of a weird one. Kind of
It was,
children in the attic type of story, where
yeah.
just a weird, and they kind of told it in three different viewpoints, and
Oh, yeah.
you just had to guess them for a little bit. Um, the
Hmm.
monster is hideous. I mean, there's just so many good things about it. So
Yeah. So the payoff was just not what I expected. So I think it was a little disappointing for me. But then at the same time, I was like, this is this is good. Like I love the guy that played like the evil guy that was locked downstairs. The dad that was sick.
oh yeah, that was a hard scene to watch, to be
I
honest.
know. Gosh.
I
Weird.
mean, like, yeah, that was a hard scene to watch. The whole time you're just like, oh gosh, something else happens. I don't have to be in this room anymore.
I know. And then it's like, as soon as they introduced Justin Long's character, spoiler alert, everyone, spoiler alert. As soon as they introduced his character, I'm like, they want you to not like this guy. They're gonna kill him.
Oh yeah, oh
They
yeah.
want you to not like this guy.
So
And
that was my like, there was some cheesy parts in the movie, X, Y, and Z. There was some kind of movie moments, is what I'm calling, that kind of helped the movie keep going.
yeah,
But there was kind of a little bit of a morbid satisfaction at the end, some retribution justice.
yeah.
So we're not spilling anything, but
Did you
um,
notice how it was written? To me, it was written very much like a stage play, like Act One, then
yeah,
introduce
it was
Justin Long, Act Two,
yes,
then
yes,
the crescendo, and then the final act, and it was really just it was done in like a Shakespearean stage play style of a story, and it's like to bring that into like this horror genre is like what is going on down here? I like why do you keep going down this hallway? Like
yeah,
obviously it's bad.
y-
Get out. Get
right,
the frick out of this house.
right, right.
Stop staying in Airbnbs. That's the moral of the story. It's like
Oh man, yeah.
terrifying.
Um, Another movie that I have to plug, and I'll just let you know. Switching gears here, it's called The Christmas Story Christmas. I think I
Oh,
talked to you about this. This is kind of the sequel to A Christmas Story that everybody has seen.
yep.
Um, you'll shoot your eye out and
Ugh,
putting your tongue on the pole and they get stuck. So that Christmas Story. Well, this is the sequel to that, and what makes it special is it's a real. I'm just gonna be serious. Just a real touching movie. Um, me and my wife watched it, and we just if you really like the Christmas Story, then this really pays homage to
yeah.
that movie, and it does it really well. I'm not super huge on kind of sequels and kind of doing the same formula because it's going to make you $300 million. This is a low budget, and they had all the cast from the original, and it was heartwarming, and touching. I'm telling you, there was some great moments, and you laughed your butt off, and it was cool to see all the little characters again. I mean, um, definitely in my book, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, easy, and it's a shame it didn't get very much publication because it's just a wonderful, well-made movie, man.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to watch it. I actually was kind of like picking Ashley's brain for what she wants to watch tomorrow because for those of you who don't know the date because you're watching this at a later date, it's Christmas Eve tomorrow. And I was like, uh, do you like A Christmas Story? Because I kind of want to rewatch that and watch that new
yeah,
movie.
I would
Yeah.
especially if you're a fan of the Christmas Story.
Oh, I love it.
When
24 hours of A Christmas Story on TBS, I used to watch it over and over again. Like it
yeah,
was just on the whole time.
so when you watch the other one, man, you just see the remarkable attention to detail,
Good.
and how everything. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you about it because I'm telling you, it's just phenomenal. Like they couldn't make it any better unless the old guy was still living.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler, but
Well,
obviously he's dead
yeah.
now. I mean, that
We
was
we knew
20
that.
years ago. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, great movie. Go out and watch it, man. Um, put some likes on it. Just a wonderful thing to watch. So,